Welcome, warriors. Welcome back. Today is day 4 of the daily warrior ritual challenge. Day 4. How you doing with the rituals and implementing and planning and all the other stuff from before? Hopefully, all is well with that. Any questions? Please put in the comments as well. Please be sure to not share your goals anywhere in the comments, especially if you're just beginning. Please do not share your goals. Okay. I know I've said that before, but I feel like I need to reiterate that just in case. I know people sometimes become very excited and they want to share what it is that they're doing, and that's understandable to a point. I feel like this light is too bright. I'm sorry, guys. Um, that's a little better. Anyway, okay. So welcome back. Um, welcome to day 4 of the challenge. Ritualize your life's important tasks. Okay, so today is going to be all about. Okay, begin implementing your new daily routine. Okay, so in the previous day, hopefully you didn't skip it because that's going to make the most sense out of what it is that you're doing with this challenge. So, if you did skip, I really advise you to go back to listen to each day. I know the first day is the longest. It was because I needed to explain some things about the challenge, the each tier as far as the ritual um the ritual challenge, as well as just to is more of an introductory as well. So yes, day 1 is the longest, but each day it's going to be fairly within the 15-20 minute range, maybe 30 depending if I need to address something. But other than that, um feel free to leave your comments, concerns, um, encouragement. Another thing is to encourage whomever may be reading or may come back and read um, the comment section and just leave words of encouragement. That's another thing about this is we need to encourage each other and to also, you know, there's solidarity with numbers. So the more people that are encouraging, inspiring, sharing tips, tricks, and ideas, this is what this is all about. So today is about beginning implementing your new daily routine. So um, realize that your new routine may not work perfectly. So what I mean by that is expect it to not completely go the way you want it, because when we start doing whatever it is, like think back to a time when you first started doing, let's say, it's like think about when you were younger. Most people, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but most people may have experience, like let's say when you learn your ABCs, your one two threes. In kindergarten, if you went to kindergarten, preschool of any kind, you know that, especially in America, let me reestablish that. In America, they'll provide you with a notebook or a note page with a big old pencil, and the paper and the lines are huge, they're thick, because they expect children to just be able to write and just put scribble. So become very childlike in that aspect of your routine. Do not become frigid, because then it's going to take the fun out of it, the exploration, the wanting to learn about how you interact with certain things and certain ways of going about implementing your routine until something sticks and it's routine to the point where it's second nature to you. So this is all about just playing. Be playful with this. Be very playful. Um, so and also explore. There's many ways in incorporating how to go about implementing your routine. So there's many blogs out there that speak about it. There's many other videos out there. So I implore you to explore. Listen to other people's content. Listen to different ways of going about it. Of course, put the time in. You have to put the time in for it to yield you the most in the end. So if this matters to you, take the time and dedication to actually put this into play if this truly matters to you. I have read and listened to podcasts speaking. I believe it was a podcast or I read it in a blog post. And I was reading about how billionaires, they utilize routines and they do not, this is a non-negotiable. They have to religiously put into play their routine without fail. So I'm not saying everybody's going to want to become a billionaire, but become very efficient in what it is that you're doing and become very intentional as well. And that's why I said play with it until it works. And then once it works, you don't really have to play with it much anymore unless you want to explore something new. And if that's the case, that's all up to you. But the point is that establishing something that's going to work. We have to establish the things that we want in our lives and to not be so frigid. Yeah, we may want it right now, but there's a lesson to be learned before we get to where we really want to go. And we have to learn those things as we go. So, and I again stress to I really want you guys to actually pay attention to what other people do. And there's many websites, there's many things about, I think it was like, what is that, 5 a.m. Routine or the morning routine. Someone has a book about it. There's many people that speak about routining your life and different routines that you may enact or ritualize. Routine, rituals, habits, they're essentially the same in essence. So I say ritualize it because it's like it gives it a different connotation to it. Like you can create your own flavor of it, like something that's uniquely you and something that's really going to help you elevate yourself moving forward into 2023. And even further along the lines, like this is to help you create something that's going to create whatever lifestyle that you want in your for yourself and or your family or business or whomever that may affect. So this challenge isn't just for people that work for themselves. This is also for people that warrior spirited, people that are not afraid to face challenges. And maybe you may have a little fears at first. We all have those, but not letting those fears stop us from ultimately getting what it is that we truly desire, want, and need to further our development and or goals to achieve in our lifetime. So um pay attention to what works, what doesn't, and also after you establish, I would say, if you start to feel like you're wavering, there's another thing about accountability and having people that's helping you stay accountable. So, like I've said before, do not tell people about your do not tell people about your goal. However, you can speak about, I'm starting this new routine and this is how you you diverge away from speaking about the goal, but you can speak about your routine that you want to start implementing because you feel like this is going to be helpful for yourself and or your family, your friends, whomever in the future, or just it's something for yourself to achieve. And sometimes we need someone to help move us. And sometimes it's great to have the support system of a group. And this is why I created this channel, to have group discussions, group ways of helping each other with our rituals, our routines, and to stay in touch with our hearts. And although it would truly make me happy if people were able to utilize this and be able to make a lot of money and be able to achieve whatever goals, whether it's career, whether it's being more of a better student, whatever it is. This is all about staying in touch with ourselves and our hearts and seeing what works and what doesn't and being patient with ourselves. Okay. Um, I've noticed a lack of patience and empathy with ourselves. And I speak from experience with this. I've never realized that I needed to be more empathetic and very much there for myself. I'm I've been one that was always there for someone else and everybody else when it comes to needing my help, a shoulder to cry on, just to be there. And I will never shame anybody for wanting and needing to be there for the ones that they care about and love. But who is there for you at those times? And I'm not saying nobody is there for you, but why are you not there for you? You know, and this is why the ritual challenge was established. So we can start showing up for ourselves. Like, for us to really be able to show up for the people we love in the world, we have to first show up for ourselves. And this is what makes the difference between billionaires and millionaires. Millionaires, they may get that concept of routinely doing things, but billionaires, they this is a non-negotiable. So they're willing to put in the effort every day, no matter what comes in their way. And no matter, even if it falls into the next day and they didn't get a chance, they're still putting it in because they understand that the momentum is in consistency. And I would highly suggest you look into Kobe Bryant and his story and his speaking. He spoke his last speech, I believe, was with Bet Patrick David, Valuetainment, and he spoke about staying consistency and being the first one there and being the last one to leave and always staying on top and doing, and it was his consistency that put him above all the others. And this is what it's all about: the consistency, the repetition, the being there for ourselves, pushing ourselves even when we think we can't push forward. So it's okay to feel like you don't want to do it that day. It's okay to feel like you're not going to be able to do it. But sometimes it's that feeling of not wanting to do it, and when you put that 5 to 10, 15 minutes in to do whatever it is that you said that you were going to do every day, no matter what, that's when you start to really build that self-esteem, that self encouragement to keep going forward. Because now once you start doing it, doing whatever routine that you set out for yourself, um when you're not feeling like it, there's really no excuse why you can never do it anymore. Just because you're not feeling well, maybe you have a stuffy nose, maybe, it's things like that. Like, I implore you to look into people that put in the extra mile, more than an extra mile, really. Also, another person, and I know, celebrities may be necessarily like controversial to speak about, but regardless of whatever they do, we can always learn from anybody, from any walk of life. This is how you open yourself up for furthering your yourself and advancing yourself is to open your mind to possibilities of learning from anybody, even the most worst heinous person in the world. You can learn from them. How do you learn? How do you not be able, you will not be able to evolve if you limit yourself from learning from people that you may not necessarily agree with. Maybe, there might be an aspect of yourself that needs to really go back and look into yourself and see why you don't like that person. But also, I understand, like, when it comes to celebrities and people that's been in our face for a very long time, a lot of us become jaded. And I definitely started going down that route of jadedness because I started learning about certain things with the industries and especially Hollywood and stuff like that. And this is not the video for that. So I'm not going to go down that. And there's many people that speak about this and go down that rabbit hole. This is not the place for that. But I will say that Beyonce is definitely someone to look into. I remember early on in her career, and even with Destiny's Child being broken up and stuff, she was sick and she was still showing up. Yes, she didn't feel like being there, but her sisters were there for her. I seen the video where Michelle encouraged her to keep moving and dancing and getting in the groove of it, and she still did it. It's that constantly being there. Yeah, she may have been forced into it because, the industry don't care if you're sick, but it pushes you to be your strongest self because now you could do anything no matter what, how you feel. There's If you have health conditions and you need to definitely stop and pay more attention to that, maybe that could become a ritual too, paying more attention to your health. This isn't only about making money. This is about your mind, body, and spirit. You have to heal all three for you to be able to connect to your true self. And if that's something that you truly want, and I really hope it is, because we need more people that's more in touch with their souls instead of wanting monetary gains. And again, there's nothing wrong with monetary gains, but that should be a reward for the efforts and the things that you already were putting out there. Not necessarily the only thing that you do. You have to put meaning to the things that matter. This is why the mental health of people are so poor in this, especially in America, but I know there's other parts of the world where it's affected heavily. People, they don't have no reasons to really live because they were too busy focusing on the money. So yes, money is definitely something that is a factor, but it shouldn't be the main factor. Your health, your wealth, and your well-being, and the wealth of your physical self and your mental self, and as well as your spiritual self. So and you don't have to necessarily create just one ritual. You could create a few different mini rituals for yourself that helps you cultivate this in a way that's very um, gratifying for yourself, that helps strengthen you in whatever way that may mean. So explore, implement. This is what I mean. I know it's kind of a tangent, but I literally mean explore. Play with this. Do not stress yourself out. It's going to be okay. Take some deep breaths, put your hand on your heart, and breathe. Inhale and exhale a few times until you are calm and centered. Focus yourself on what truly matters, and you will definitely make it through whatever it is that you're going through. Okay? So do not stress yourself. Do not overwork yourself. Do not overdo it. It's okay that you didn't get it the first time. It's not a quiz. It is not school. This is okay. Um, and I feel like I'm speaking to myself too, because sometimes I'll overdo it with my expectations. And if I don't get it done exactly the way I wanted it, then I feel like I failed. And it's like, maybe you didn't fail. Maybe you need to go about certain tasks or different ways of doing things in a way that's different. And again, this is why it's so important to explore and to not stay locked into one way of doing anything until you figure out what works for you. And maybe even then you can still explore and play. Like, it's up to you if you feel like you need to become a little more um stable with your routine, or if you want to still be flexible and, you know, play with it regardless of if you found something that works or not. You still want to explore. So it's totally up to you. And don't limit yourself, you know. So again, this is day 4. Begin implementing your new daily routine. Um, so that's about it. Uh, and there's going to be implementing for the next few days, actually. So I'll still come back and speak about implementing. Um, just a few words of encouragement. Just also, I know it may seem repetitive. Oh, it's just implementing. What's the point of coming back? There is a point. There is a point. Consistency, being able to hold yourself accountable and there for yourself, and to do the things in which that matters to you. So if this truly matters to you, you'll come back. This isn't necessarily about me or the channel, but it's really about yourself. Show up for you. Show up for what matters for yourself. Show up for what you truly want and desire. And the more you focus on what matters for yourself, wherever your attention goes, the energy flows. I heard that from someone. That's not my quote, by the way. Maybe it was Neville Goddard. He's great to listen to as well. If you want to create some routines, some serious stuff right there. I'll speak more about other great people to listen to as well. If you're not aware of Neville Goddard, there's a lot of videos out there. You don't necessarily have to buy his books. I would suggest his books as well, but the stuff that's out there is really, really, really enriched with information that can definitely change many people's lives if we all just become more focused. Okay. I hope you guys were able to definitely get some ideas. Let me know if this was helpful. Um, Share this information with other people too. I know I haven't really said that before, but that would really be helpful for me as well as the channel, to spread this far and wide. This is important information. We all need to become more intentional, more routine, ritual oriented, especially with a lot of us starting to come into a lot of information and a lot of different ways to explore ourselves. We need a more of a stable, in some ways structured, but still fluid. Some of us need the fluidness, but some of us need a little more structured because we're too fluid. So it really depends on you. So I again, please share, comment, subscribe, of course, and I'll be back for day 5. And again, it will be implementing. For a few days, it will be definitely implementing, but I'm still showing up. This isn't just because, oh, it's implementing, so I'm not going to show up. I said it's going to be at 30 days. So I'm showing up just because I said it and I'm committed. Commit to this. If you signed the permission slip, you're committed. Be consistent and you got this. And I'll see you all in the next video.